hey, so stop chasing. And I know it's really hard to do that because you chase this thing, this dream, this desire that you want so badly. I know it's all you can probably think about. But the second you surrender it and you say, I put my hands up, God, like this is your will, your way, not mine, He comes through and He shows you exactly where you need to be. I think a lot of times God lets us chase things that are not meant for us just so that we can learn. He's a very loving Father. He allows us to go touch the hot stove to learn maybe next time you shouldn't do that and you should actually listen. It's so hard and it's such a battle when you want something more than anything and it just feels like it's not working out, and it feels like, oh God, if this thing was on my heart, like why is this on my heart if it's not for me, if it's not meant to happen? And who's to say that it's not for you? But maybe it's not for you right now. Maybe in this season God is trying to teach you something different and you're just not listening. Maybe this is a season of being in the waiting room. I feel like a lot of the time me and my husband are always in the waiting room. We're waiting for the next transition in our life, or this job, or the next move, especially in the military. We just never know what's going to come at us. And I think when we're able to be patient and actually just sit there and say, you know what, God, like you white knuckle this dream that you want so bad. But when you finally release it and you stop chasing it in the way that like you just feel like it's all you think about, consume, it's all you desire, and it makes your gaze away from the Lord. I think once you give that up and you say, you know what, I surrender, and it's really hard because I really want this thing and I feel like it's for me, but it's not happening right now. That, my friends, is exactly when it happens. And you know how people say, like, when you're trying to get pregnant, if you just relax and don't stress, then you'll get pregnant. There's a reason why that happens. It's because you just kind of surrender and you say, you know what, I physically can't do anything to change my situation right now. So what I'm going to try to do is the opposite of everything I've been doing. And that is releasing it and surrendering it and letting it be what it will be. Que sera, sera. Just let it go. I think what's so cool about God is, like, again, He lets us chase these desires and dreams, but then He's like there to catch us when we fall too. For example, I had the most selfish heart. I wanted to be a content creator. I wanted to make my full-time income from this. And I was just following all the trends. I was like, you know what? I want people to follow me. So dumb. And I had this like yearning that it would keep me up in the middle of the night on TikTok. And I would just be like, why do they have that and I can't? Jealousy is one of the ugliest flavors, colors that you could ever wear. It doesn't do anybody any good. It doesn't do you any good, and it sure as heck doesn't do anybody else any good. And it keeps you separate from God. So jealousy is a whole nother topic. I finally was like, you know what, God, like, please either take this desire from my heart or make it happen. And I think I was praying the wrong prayer. I think what He actually did was shifted my heart into knowing Him better and just kind of like listening to Him and taking the next step. I no longer have really the desire to blow up on social media. Like, I don't really care. Would it be cool? Of course it would be so cool. It would be so cool to just like have opportunity and to continue to pour and maybe like speak on stage one day and pour out what God has poured into me. But right now I'm so content, like in the best way, that I'm chasing my functional nutrition cert. I'm going to start changing lives, helping people with God. And then I have this. And whoever clicked on this today, like, I pray that you stop chasing whatever it is that you feel like is bringing you pain. And you just write it down and figure out how to let it go. Figure out how to make space in your mind and in your heart for God. Like, for God to fulfill that. If it's your prophecy, if it's according to His will, whatever you ask for in His will, He will fulfill it. But it has to be according to His plan, His desire. Like, it has to be a selfless thing. I'm not saying that you can't want things, because, we all have dreams. Who doesn't want nice things? But we don't take any of that to heaven. You know, he says, store up your treasures in heaven, not on earth, because the varmint and the moths, rats come and eat all the physical things that we could, like, hold. But what we have in heaven is something so far more valuable. We're on this earth. The average lifespan, I think, is 76 years. 4,000 weeks. 4,000 weeks on this earth is the average human lifespan. And to think that I was wasting a bunch of my weeks yearning for something so worldly that it was like making my heart hard. I was like hardening my heart. And that's exactly what the devil wants. And thank God that he got his clutches in me, that God has his clutches in me, that in the best way, that I run to him now and I give it up. And I'm just telling you, if you're chasing something, whether it happens or it doesn't happen, put it down for a second. Take a step back, reevaluate, is this what I really want? Or is this something like just that the world told me I needed to have to be cool? That's all I got for you.